हेलो गाइस। आज हम पढ़ेंगे 4 ways टू डेवलप द बिग थिंकर्स वोकेबुलरी। ठीक है, सो हियर आई गो। 4 ways to develop the big thinkers vocabulary. Here are 4 ways to develop here are 4 ways to help you develop a big thinker's vocabulary. Use big, positive, cheerful words and phrases to describe how you feel. When someone asks, "How do you feel today?" and you respond with an "I am tired," "I have a headache," I wish it were Saturday," "I don't feel so good," you actually make yourself feel worse. Practice this. It is a very simple point, but it has tremendous power. Every time someone asks you, "How are you?" or "How are you feeling today?" respond with a "just wonderful, thanks," and you, or say "great" or "fine." Say you feel wonderful at every possible opportunity, and you will begin to feel wonderful and bigger too. Become known as a person who always feels great. It wins friends. Use bright, cheerful, favorable words and phrases to describe other people. Make it a rule to have a big positive word for all your friends and associates. When you and someone else are discussing an absent third party, be sure you compliment him with big words and phrases like "he is really a fine fellow." They tell me he is working out wonderfully well. Be extremely careful to avoid the petty cut him down language. Sooner or later, third parties hear what's been said, and then such talk only cuts you down. Use positive language to encourage others. Compliment people personally at every opportunity. Everyone you know craves praise. Have a special good word for your wife or husband every day. Notice and compliment the people who work with you. Praise sincerely administered is a success tool. Use it again and again and again. Compliment people on their appearance, their work, their achievements, their families. Use positive words to outline plans to others. When people hear something like this, "Here is some good news, we face a genuine opportunity," their minds start to sparkle. When they hear something like, uh, "Whether we like it or not, we have got a job," whether we like it or not, we have got a job to do. The mind movie is dull and boring, and they react accordingly. Promise victory and watch eyes light up. Promise victory and win support. Build castles, don't dig graves. Now the next topic is see what can be, not just what is. Big thinkers big thinkers train themselves to see not just what is but what can be. Here are 4 examples to illustrate this point. What gives real estate value? A highly successful realtor who specializes in rural property shows what can be done if we train ourselves to see something where little or nothing presently exists. Most of the rural property around here, my friend, began is run down and not very attractive. I am successful because I don't try to sell my prospects a farm as it is. I develop my entire sales plan around what the farm can be. Simply telling the prospect the farm has XXX acres of bottom land and XXX acres of woods and is XXX miles from town does not does not stir him up and make him want to buy it. But when you saw him a concrete plan for doing something with the farm, he is just about sold. Where, here, let me show you what here, let me show you what I mean. He opened his briefcase and pulled out a file. This farm, he said, is a new listing with us. It's like a lot of them. It's 43 miles from the center of the metropolitan area. The house is run down and the place hasn't been farmed in 5 years. Now here is what I have done. I spent 2 full days on the place last week just standing it. I walked over the place several times. I looked at neighboring farms. I studied the location of the farm with respect to existing and planned highways. I asked myself what's this farm good for. I came up with 3 possibilities. Here they are. He showed them to me. Each plan was nearly typed looked quite looked quite comprehensive. One plan suggested converting the farm into a riding stable. The plan showed why the idea was sound: a growing city, more love for the outdoors, more money for recreation, good roads. The plan also showed how the farm could support a sizable number of horses so that the revenue from the rides would be largely clear. The whole riding stable idea was very thorough, very convincing. The plan was so clear and convincing, I could see a dozen of couples riding horseback through the trees.